stage. There we are, and we are live. Whatever you say will be held against you.
I am sure everything we have said prior to this. But where is the timer on this?
I don't know.
Well, it always had. So this one doesn't have a timer. Okay.
Well, here we are in the den of iniquity that we always thought we would end up in. Being out of focus is the way we go. We don't want to be seen sharply,
Right.
but maybe if we move Bob, who is known in the outer regions of this city as Frog Bob, to the same distance from the camera that I am at, he will become in focus.
Or you move back to me
Well,
since you have a wheelie.
Are we both
No, that's
in focus? And watch your posture. Everybody's going to criticize
posture.
you. So
Okay.
everybody's been clamoring for this. Everybody's been yelling and screaming and hitting me on the top of my head where I have we don't want to call it anything on this fabulous renewal of our podcast. So here we are trying again to impress our mothers. So Bob, what's the topic for today?
Well, first it's a bonus because we're together.
Right.
And this is our
in
first
the same place. I
right,
should
first
hide
live
things.
one. Right.
We should be hiding things, shouldn't we?
Right, exactly. This is you can see us, but we can't
I
see
can't
you.
see you.
So you putting away things coming out.
I'm hiding things. You never want anybody to see you then.
Nobody can see it.
Oh, that's my microphone.
Nobody
Sorry
can
about
see
that.
this.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we came together purposely to be able to do this live. And just a fun fact, or actually a new fact, we now have the ability to invite guests.
Right. So we immediately invited several of our friends who are particularly good at verbal assaults and verbal communication.
And that is only because we're talking about our friends, because our children could have a possibility of declining
Absolutely.
coming on.
They want nothing to do with this, which is, of course, the way it's always been.
But I think there two, one of yours and one of mine is going to come on.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't imagine which one of yours.
I can imagine which
Oh,
one.
I
of
know
yours.
which one of yours.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
one of yours?
No, you can't imagine.
No, you don't think he's coming?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
No.
Anyway,
Maybe one of our dogs.
we brought, this is interesting enough, came to visit, and I brought my dog to his kind dog that never barks, never says a word, is keeping my dog Patches in absolute fear.
Absolutely, Patches. We thought he may have some of that real scouting army respect thing where he can go in and just fight away with courage. And that's been discouraged today because he seems to have none. And our little tiny dog that is the sweetest, the kindest, a dog that wouldn't have a bad word to say about. No, my dog.
Oh.
Our dog is Oreo. He's 10 years old, maybe almost 11.
Coming for Patches' throat.
Never had a bad word to say about any dog or anybody else. And Patches comes into that, never made it to the house before Oreo went for his throat.
That's it. Patches is in total fear. I'm going to need a dog shrink, or maybe one of my daughter or my daughter-in-law could expand their practice in the dog world.
That's right. This dog is never going to see the light of day the same way. She's going to be cowering in the corner of whatever place she's in because I don't think she's ever going to, see a dog the same way after Oreo terrorized her. First in the front lawn and then in the house.
But we definitely changed our whole way we are doing this. And we know you're going to love it. We'll probably get a lot of emails.
Absolutely. This is exactly what we wanted to do when we first conceptualized this entire ordeal. And so we're going to take the first question from the audience, who's going to give us our topic.
Well, but you said something interesting. It shows you how long it takes from an idea until you can turn it into a reality is at least, a day and a half.
Absolutely.
It takes a long time.
Like that. You dream it, it becomes true, especially when you're an experienced couple like we are.
Couple?
Couple. Well, you let me lead when we dance,
I know.
so I assume
I only know how to follow.
that's right, and I'm taller, so it always flow as we go. So today's main topic is, why are people assuming that people that look elderly act elderly?
That's very good, because until he just said that, I've never heard him say that before. You pulled that topic out of nowhere.
Well, it's an assumption people make when they see someone that has gray hair and maybe they're whittling along on their crippled feet.
Well, that does sound terrible to me.
People assume that they're elderly in their brain, which is absolutely not true. I mean, I still act like I'm a 12-year-old. And in fact, that's my reputation.
No.
I'll ask you. Do you get the
Yes.
feeling that people think that you're old and out to lunch?
I get more. No, I don't think that. I get more doors open for me. I get more people. People are much more polite. Those kind of things. They don't just push me out of the way anymore. But I don't think necessarily that they think your brain is withered away.
Oh,
You get that? Maybe
no.
you get that withered away brain look.
I did get somebody who wanted. When was I? That somebody wanted to do something for me and carry something, which I.
Well, that's physical also.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, I was putting water bottles, big gigantic things, into my car, and I accepted his help. That was helpful.
But I think that's the right thing to do. And
Okay.
But they recognize
But-
someone who's a senior.
They do. But in most cases, I think they assume, aside from lifting things maybe, that we have maybe adult brains, or that we think in a new way now that we're, looking old, which I don't. And I think that a lot of the people I know, maybe excluding you, have very, very supple brains, and they're doing things that they were doing when they were young, and taking life as it comes,
I think people may not, if you're talking younger people, depends what type of people you're talking about. But if you're talking younger people, I think they may not think your brain is as adult as they think you don't know
No.
who they are today. How all the things that are today, you wouldn't understand it.
I don't understand what you just said.
That's exactly my point.
Exactly.
Yes, so that's the point. No, what a 20-year-old or an 18 or a 22-year-old, their life is so different, and they look at someone 80 and they said, "You've never experienced this.
Huh?
How can you help me?"
What? What is that?
You see, your brain is adult.
No, I understand what you're saying. A 20-year-old doesn't understand how an 80-year-old might look at things. But the
Right.
assumption is that we look at it from, some fragile adult brain, which is not true.
How about it's not a fragile brain? It's a brain that is back 60 years ago and it hasn't caught up to today. Is what
You're talking about somebody else, not me.
I wasn't being personal.
No, but I am.
You're being personal.
No, I'm at the front. Why would you be old? Mean that you don't keep up with what's going on?
Oh, I don't think you know stuff that goes on today.
I am at the tip.
For People magazine.
I am at the tip of the missile.
This man reads page 1. He reads who publishes the People magazine.
I don't get it. You don't give me credit for being absolutely on top of whatever is going on. Ask me any question.
Ask you any
question
in
at all
what is this,
about
any field?
anything. You want to know
In any
anything
field?
about anything? Ask me.
Okay, who did the Florida Panthers just sign to an 8-year, $64 million contract?
Sam Bennett.
This man is not adult.
I am on
about
top of any
How-
topic. I'm not going to ask you to do it again.
that?
But that was pretty good, right? I am on top of
I'm
it.
impressed.
Don't try to press me. That's what you get.
I'm impressed.
Absolutely.
Okay, ask me a question.
Okay.
Nah, because you can ask.
Name either one of Beyonce's side singers from the days that she was in a trio.
Oh, Mary.
Your time is up.
I don't know.
Do I have to know the answer?
answer?
Do I have to know the answer?
Yes, you have to know the answer.
I know the answer. I just can't remember it.
Oh, what does it?
I know both of their
Doesn't
names.
count.
Give me time and I will come up with it.
Okay, who sang the song Gloria? Now you listened to it 1,000 times.
First of all, there are three.
The original Gloria.
There
from
are
the
three.
60s.
No, at three different times in our history, Gloria, by three different people, has been in the top 10.
Okay. I think someone's trying to break in. Into the studio. The red light.
You
pays
see the
no
red light that
attention
says
to
on
it.
air?
No attention.
There we go.
This is live, Carol. Live and on air.
Come on in, baby. Okay.
No.
Don't let her in. Okay. She packed it?
Do you have 2 pencils?
I have.
We're on air, Carol.
Yeah. You want to
This
say hello
is
to
being
everybody?
live streamed.
We're on live.
You come, does Howard Stern get, all of a sudden someone comes in, his wife, you shoot me a pencil?
We have a guest. I just spit on your shoe.
No.
Okay, Hold on.
Give it 2 pencils.
You're very welcome.
What's the red light next?
Be careful. There's a dog outside. That's not so
Okay, getting back to the question, give me one of your 3 pointer sister, Gloria.
Gloria.
I didn't say sing.
I can meet. Who the hell was it? I know. Was one Dionne Warwick?
No. No,
You
beyond one. Because it's not, it wasn't.
Okay, I don't know.
Well, I only know of one, the Gloria Brownigan.
Okay.
I
I don't think it was Gloria Branigan, but it was Laura Branigan.
Laura Brownigan. Did I say Gloria?
Do I get points for that?
No, you messed me up with Diane Warwick.
We're getting pictures.
There's no respect to the live
No
stream.
respect.
To noise.
By the way, that proves to you that both of us are aware of nothing.
Right.
But we take that nothing and look what we've done with it. Both of us have been around. I don't know what we've been around, but we have both come to this place in our lives where we are experienced and we are with it. Aren't we with it?
Excuse me, I'm taking a little nap. Right.
Hate to admit it, but the last time I took a little nap, I was talking to him on the phone.
I was on the phone talking to him, telling him a story, and it's quiet and quiet. As I said, have you heard me? Hello, hello. And so I just hang up the phone and wait 5 minutes or so. I thought he might have passed away. Gives people time to come in.
Should have called the funeral parlor.
Right. And I call again, and he says, "Oh, geez, I'm sorry. You woke me up. You fell asleep on the phone as I was talking."
That's the first time I ever did it. I never did anything.
And which is some kind of dichotomy. We're on a podcast, which is talking, and I'm talking on the phone to you, and you fall asleep. So if you can't find it interesting, why will they find it?
I don't know. But it's very interesting that I fell asleep. The last time that happened, I was in Freudian therapy. I think it was in my 20s. And I was on the couch, and the guy sits behind me, and I fell asleep for the whole session. He didn't wake me up. And at the end, I got up. He wakes you up. And I turned around, and I said, his name was Dr. Barnett. Oh, no, something like that. I said, why don't you wake me up? He said, no. When a patient sleeps the whole session, very significant. You didn't want to speak about something. If something's going on that you didn't want to talk about, we'll take it up at the next session. I said, finally, somebody told me I should go into cognitive therapy. So I found a woman that was named Ethel Geller. Her real name was Ethel. But because of psychological reasons, she changed her name to Ethel. I think she had a little problem, but she opened up on Fifth Avenue. So what did the problem stop her? She was doing well. So I had a parallel with Barnett Myers. That wasn't his name. Dr. Barnett and Ethel for 6 months because you can't leave Freudian therapy.
Yeah, you're gonna make a
Suddenly,
shot on the way out.
you got to come down from the high. I don't know what you got to do, but you got to do it for a long time.
Oh.
So for 6 months, I'm going to see Dr. Barnett, and for 6 months, I'm starting with Ethel, and eventually I ended up with Ethel. and I went to her for I don't know how many years, 10 years.
So,
I am telling you, therapy has made me a happy person.
yeah, right.
I'm a good example of what therapy can do.
Like the two at the same time. Wow.
Well, that was just the beginning.
Yeah.
I went on from there. That was my 20s.
Yeah. People
And I
go
still go.
Yeah.
Just
People-
like guys that go to meetings if they have a problem with alcohol. You never stop. Right?
Well, there
you
are
haven't,
people-
you haven't stopped.
There are people who go to therapy who stop. That is ridiculous.
Well, they stop.
You're not assigned to life with therapy from
Well, it
20 to
depends.
80.
It depends. If you need therapy for life, you go to
Maybe, but
therapy
the
for life.
alcohol thing, you have to go.
Yes,
Do it. Therapy, you could stop anywhere along the way.
possibly. Well, it's like if you go to a cardiologist and he decides that you need certain pills in order for you to have a happy life. You don't go back to him in a month or in a year or 5 years and say, isn't it time I stop taking my
That's not
medicine?
true. If the cardiologist gives you the thing, you don't have to go back to him all the time. You can come 5 years later. Where a therapist, you have to keep going.
Well, I'm just saying you can go back to the doctor, but the therapy or the therapist who's giving you whatever he's doing for you, whether it be medicine or just oral medicine, those are things you probably, if you have a disease, you probably will need.
It reminds me actually, to get back to the original thing of falling asleep, when I was in college, I had an 8 o'clock class, and the 8 o'clock class was on botany. And I would go there at 8 o'clock, and he would turn out the lights and put on a screen of all the different plants that are out there. There was not a head that was not on that table. That's the most ridiculous thing, a class I've ever taken in my life. A little trouble at the final, but hey, always fell asleep.
Always a good idea to take that kind of class when you're wide awake.
Right.
Wide awake.
Fall asleep in movies if it's a bad movie.
I don't
Fall
stay
asleep.
if I fall asleep.
You don't stay if you fall asleep. That doesn't make sense. If you fall asleep, you're staying.
No,
You
if it's
stay
that
before
boring,
you
yeah,
leave.
no, I'm gone.
No.
I don't go to the movies anymore. Does anybody? You go to the movies?
You go to the movie.
Are you talking to me? You talking to me, pal?
You know what movie I was talking about the other day, and I don't remember with who. The best, certainly in my top 10 of movies, without a doubt. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Very, very good. My cousin Vinny.
Yes. No question about it.
Just
She was outrageous.
yeah.
She was
She's
outrageous. I just saw
outrageous.
it, actually.
Did you just see it?
I-
Well, we highly recommend everybody out there watch My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Who was it? What was her name?
Marissa Tomei.
And what was his name?
His name was you think I'm funny? Joe Pesci.
Pesci. Yeah, I just have the inability to bring up
Am
things.
I right? Wasn't it Joe Pesci?
Yeah, Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there was a
And her.
boy in there.
Who?
A boy in there.
Yeah, Ralph
Ralph
Macchio
Macchio.
and Fred Gwynn.
Before he ever became the Cobra
Yeah, Karate Kid.
Karate Kid. He was in My Cousin Vinny.
And we have reached the halfway point of our podcast. So let's bring in the dancing girls. And I think that did he come?
Boom Boom.
Yeah, no. The mayor said he was going to stop
Yes,
by.
right.
Oh,
All
No.
I guess.
maybe. He said maybe. It's always good to have a provocative guest on
And
these kinds of shows.
And now that we know how to do it, we're going to invite people, and we certainly hope.
Politically, we're connected. In entertainment world, we're right at the top.
Right.
We might go into some of the scary stuff that goes on around Miami. You never know. We're connected. We got people that have people. So we might bring in some of the notorious, some of the infamous. Who knows? They might come in here and start shooting.
When someone says you got a guy, we got a guy.
We got a guy that has a guy.
Right.
So keep yourself notified. You never know. The smallest things happen in the big world when you're not paying attention. So pay attention.
But I think we got off topic
What's the topic?
about 18.6 minutes ago. The topic was you were thinking that people thought our brains were not as quick as they were. Well, I will say that my brain does not function as fast, is not have the same runway bandwidth? Does yours have the bandwidth anymore? Or is it now all
No,
no bandwidth? No
I am
bandwidth.
so sharp. I am so with it. I am so on top of things that I memorized all the zip codes in the country.
Right.
Test me.
Okay.
Well,
Mackinac Island.
No. Give me a zip code. I'll tell you where it is.
Oh.
There was a guy on television that did that.
Well, that sounds like saying.
I'll give you one. 10121.
It's got to be. My guess would be either the east side of New York or.
Whoa, Wyatt.
Oh, no. No.
Well, I'm giving you one that's
Yeah,
a good
what
one.
was it?
I'm
The
giving
east
you
side of New York.
I'm giving you a gimme. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, if I gave you 90944.
You would know.
You don't know that at all.
That's good. No, I only knew that because I know Mark's it.
Of course,
So
I
figured
gave you
it's
the
coming
east side of
from
New York,
the
so
east
you
side
would
of
know
New
it.
York.
You lived there.
I did not live there.
You lived
I
in
did live
55th
there.
Street.
Well, I didn't think it was that low. Right.
Tell me you didn't live there.
No.
I've been in that apartment.
Yes.
Well,
Was it from a
ladies and
rental
gentlemen,
to a co-op?
when they talk about people that look old and have adult brains, they're obviously dealing with all.
Right, exactly.
What? You want to give them the short version of the frog bulb story?
Nah. The short version of the Frog Bob story. Did we do that?
Yeah, we did, but
We
nobody
did.
remembers.
No, it's
Save it for another
I'll
time.
save it for a different time. I will say I made most of my money from the merger of actually it started as a merger but ended as a buyout when London Delicacies bought out Botan, and I was with a 50% shareholder. Money was just mainly in frogs, but it was just unbelievable.
Botan, keep that. That is a key word.
Keyword.
Hold that dear to your heart, and in the next podcast, Bob will explain
Right.
the genealogy of Botan.
Right. Yes.
That's a big word.
Big word.
Like we always say, it's bigger than delicatessen. It must be an SAT word.
Right, exactly. See that kid who just won the spelling bee championship?
That was like a month ago, 2 months ago.
Oh, I live up north. I get the news a lot later than you do.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. He
Yeah,
went to the floor when he won.
yeah. It was just very
Yeah,
exciting.
delighted. He was runner-up this year.
Yes.
See how I'm right on top of this?
You're right on top of it.
I'm telling
Good,
you.
fast. I just got the news. Came across my
What are you reading?
came across my BlackBerry.
Did you ever notice in the dashboard, this is out for you, Junior, or you juniors out there that haven't noticed it. On the dashboard of my car, they have little things that indicate what it's for, and then they have these little braille buttons, the little tiny dots that raise up like braille. So I asked my wife what they were for, and she said she didn't know. I said, well, it's probably for the people that use it for braille. And she said, right, all the blind people that are driving need to know what those little tabs are. I said, I guess it. I said, it's one of the stupidest questions I ever asked.
And wait a second. And this is how, like in the Seinfeld episode, it comes full circle. When he's trying to tell you his brain's not adult.
No, but why would there be little dots on these little ventilators that are
she's
blowing
100%
air on
right.
me? I can't see it, but I can touch it and know what it is.
That is so funny. No, brains aren't adult. No, they're perfectly fine.
Listen, I had an idea. Maybe it was wrong. In life, failure is the greatest teacher. So now I know those little bumps are not for blind people.
I'll tell you.
I've learned that lesson. That's what I know.
You were telling the story. I was thinking, oh, they're for blind people.
That's the same thing. Who else needs little bumps? Who needs bumps? I don't need bumps. I always thought
The blind people. Yeah.
the little bump things on the yellow thing at the corners of the corner where you go from the cement to the asphalt. I always thought that was for the people. What was that? What did I always think? I thought it was for the blind people, and it's not for blind people.
What?
Somebody just told me it was for somebody else.
What thing are you talking about?
When you get to the corner
It's a
They
curve.
there's now a requirement for the last 40 years that there be a block of little bumps.
Never saw it.
Yeah, you do. when
On
you
every
walk.
corner you
Every
go to.
single corner in the world.
That is ridiculous.
Even in Europe, there's a block. It's like a square of cement.
What, do you have
And
a
it's
dream?
no. People out there know what I'm talking about.
No.
You know what I'm
You know
talking
what?
about.
We'll give you time to go downstairs and go out to a corner and see if he's right.
I am telling you, everybody knows what, and they're usually painted yellow. I would say 99.9% of the world's little blocks that have these bumps on them
Every
are
corner
yellow.
in New York has one.
Every single corner in New York, it's a law.
Is it a New York law or is
Every
it a
corner
federal
in
law?
Miami has it.
So it's a federal law.
But I don't know if
This is in
federal,
the
I don't
big
know
beautiful
state.
bill?
It tells people.
What does it tell them?
I'm trying to remember why it's not for blind people. It's for somebody else.
They do it with their feet. What
No.
is this?
I was told what it's for, and it's not for blind people, even though everybody thinks it's
Well,
for blind
write
people.
in on that one if anybody knows.
Who knows why those little corner rows?
So let me ask you this, how big are they?
They take up the whole corner.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And yeah, it makes sense that people that can't see would feel on their feet that they're getting to the corner.
That's ridiculous.
But that's not the reason they're there.
And I don't think they're on every corner.
Every corner. How many corners are
I'm
there
going
in
to
it?
take a trip.
How many
corners in the
on an intersection?
Oh, I thought it was in the country.
No, in an intersection.
And it's a 4.
And how many of these little blocks do you think they have to have in an intersection?
Well, you said it's within a corner. Well, how many blocks are in each corner? You got to break it down.
He's been my best friend for 60 years. This is what I put up with. He can't figure it out. No,
What do you
there are
mean?
2 on every corner. One faces the court, crossing one way, and one faces crossing the other way.
Oh, how many in one corner? Oh,
In
I
one
see.
intersection.
2. So there's 8 in an intersection, and I've never seen one of them.
That's right. You're a very
That's
observant
ridiculous.
person.
And in every corner. That's
Every
surprising.
corner.
I've been in Miami. I have
Every
been
corner of
Palm
Miami.
Beach. No, every corner of Palm Beach.
You can't build a city without them.
They're not on my corners where I live.
Yes, they are.
Oh, so if you built the city already, they come in and put the yellow in the corner?
If your city is from before 1902.
You know, the federal government probably is still at the Dodge that's still there, but people come out with a yellow thing and put the bumps in.
I'm telling you, take a look. When you're driving around today, take a look.
I can't wait to leave.
That's the best thing about you. Can't wait to leave. That's the way your hosts feel.
Right, exactly. Most of them just keep walking around the door.
Well, there you have it.
Yes.
Another full hour of pure jest.
Well, actually, I don't want to correct you, but it's 32 minutes.
The 32 minutes felt like an hour. Felt like a friggin' hour. But there you go. Everybody has an anticipation of what they're going to do every day. We knew that we were going to do this podcast today. Didn't frighten Bob at all.
No.
Didn't give him a shiver. You know what it did? Made his dog into a maniac and made my dog into a psycho.
Poor Patches, I'm telling you, she's going to need so much help.
We
He's
thought it
been
was
terrorized.
Yeah, next time we know. Don't bring the dogs together.
He's got this huge dog, and that's why.
That's right. He's a
Terrorized.
frightening dog.
Yeah. So
10 pounds. 10 pounds
it's not 10.
of
You
pure
said it's
terror.
11 and a half.
You're right, 11 and a half pounds. I'm sorry. We got him, he was 10 pounds. We fed him nothing but meat,
Right.
raw meat. And now he's 11 something pounds and he is a terror.
Then a picture of Patches against the wall just saying, kill, kill, and trained it that way.
Actually, big monster dogs come down our block and, Oreo goes after their feet first. He knows what to do. Knock them down. And then he eats their heads
Right.
off their bodies. He rips them right off. He is a terror beyond terrors. And yet, doesn't hurt Doris at all. Goes after me a little bit. I've had a bite over here once in a while, but it heals fast. I put my special sauce on it, which is double antibiotic sauce you have to get with a prescription. That's another podcast.
That's another podcast.
We'll
and
tell you
that's-
about that.
And that's not on the 19 and under podcast because they would be talking about that, the prescription.
Absolutely. I got prescriptions you would never believe.
Prescription.
I got the best prescription to heal.
It
Heals everything.
I have that same thing that he says, and I don't think it's that great.
Well, maybe it's my biology.
No, Carol agrees with you.
Oh, I'm telling you, I get a scratch
Yeah,
without this whatever it's called.
Yeah.
You put this mucilage on, it's gone in a day.
I think you use the same thing with another one, and it's the same thing. It's an antibiotic.
Right.
Yeah,
But it's not allowed to be sold over the counter.
That's against the law. With the same, it's the same law that puts the yellow things on each corner.
You betcha.
They
The bump law.
they put them together.
The bump law. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, you mean so? We're gonna look it up. Oh,
You're gonna ask what are the bumps?
is there a bump? Are there bumps on every corner in
Right.
the country? Okay.
It's not one bump. It may be 50.
What would you call it? Okay.
Just call it. What are the bumps?
Does
on the
every
corner?
corner
What are they?
in the country have bumps on them?
It's GBT.
This is how we do. We do a podcast where we don't have the answer.
Well, there you go. While we listen to ChatGPT, look up what that sounds like, which is impossible to understand. We're going to have to get to a point where we're going to sign off, aren't we?
Yes, I think so. I can't work.
Okay. So thank you for listening and maybe watching. I don't know. Now we're both audio and video. A world of good for our parents.
Yes, they're very proud.
They love seeing us.
And we'll have something exciting the next time we do this.
To announce.
Right. And possibly have a guest.
Right.
I'm sure though somewhere we can get that.
It's possible that both our wives are pregnant.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
So, okay, everybody.
Thank you for listening. And here we go. We're going to try to say.
Oh, so look at the direction.
Do you have? No, I know.
Oh, yeah.
I have it over here.
Okay.
But I will tell you this. Do you want to sign off with a piece of wisdom? Pearls of wisdom? You have
Pearls
something?
of wisdom.
You have something to say?
Okay. Why don't you do the first one?
The first one.
The pearl of wisdom.
Okay.
I don't have a.
What are the things I live by?
To think about that.
If you tell yourself in the morning that today is going to be a happy day, it will be a happy day. It's your decision.
Wow, that's deep, man. Okay, so you want mine?
Yes. All right.
Okay, wait a minute. Whoa.
All right. Let's see if old Halpern has something in it deep in
I
his
got
heart.
it deep somewhere. This is where the I don't live by much. Let me think. If you keep your pencils sharp and your erasers at hand, you will never make a mistake. What can I say?
These are the words he put his kids to sleep with. And today they're both accountants.
That's it. I got nothing.
All right.
It's been a long day here with him.
We're signing off. Thank you for listening. I hope you're here by now. I would have signed off at least 40 minutes
Hope you
ago.
come back for the next one.
All right. Bye-bye.